What's good, Pack Nation? Welcome to Packing with Gary, where we discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Hi, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. This is the place where we want to know your thoughts about the Wolfpack. Share. Get your 2 cents out there. So let's talk Wolfpack hoops. All right. NC State went to Clemson and got the upset. Okay. Hey, look, I won't lie. I was surprised. All right. As it was happening, I was like, okay. We got a chance because Clemson is a lot taller than us. And of course, they hadn't lost at home in the conference. So I'm like, you know what? Something I be cooking here. Paul McNeil was hitting shots early. Williams was aggressive. Uh, Clemson's bigs weren't causing problems for us. That's really on Clemson because there is no way our guards should have been able to deny them post entry the way that we did. Like we pretty much played in front and dared them to throw it over the top. And their bigs were just a little lazy in that fight. So good job, Pack. Appreciate that. I'll go ahead and say it. Has me a little excited to play, that team down the road. Um, because their guard play is horrific. All right. And I can just imagine how many times they're gonna turn that ball over when they come to Raleigh. But we'll talk about that another time. So let's talk about how our boys went to Clemson and showed out. Okay. Um, Start with some individuals. Lubin, that's our guy. Super consistent. All right, we don't have to worry about him being productive. Only thing we got to worry about is him being worn out for playing so much at the end of a game. But never mind about that. He's got heart and he made his free throws with that little hitch. Oh man, I get so nervous when he's at the free throw line when he's shooting any type of jumper. That hitch is so ugly. But hey, Lubin, good job, man. Lubin, he was undersized all night. I mean, he's the size of the small forward, right? And like most nights, he did his thing. Okay. Zero complaints. Williams, man, I don't know how he ended up with the amount of points he had. It was so inefficient. Like every time he put a shot at brick, I mean, from the free throw line, brick. He was shooting so many bricks, but he did end up hitting three threes. Got a couple layups, and went to the free throw line and hit his free throws. So he ended up with what he had, but all of a sudden he had like 17 points, and I was like, how? It was a very sneaky 17, based on how many shots he was missing. But look, I want him to be that aggressive. I'm really not asking him to be efficient. You can check my other videos. Look, I've been asking for this man. Show me a game where we're like, yo, you took too many shots. Because it's going to be hard for him to do. He's not built like that. He's not going to take 20 shots in a game. I'll take him taking 15. Like, I want my so-called star to show me he's out there trying to put us on his back, right? And so I'm not complaining about his inefficiency. And let's move on to my man Copeland. He only had one turnover. Okay. Wasn't that efficient from the floor. But he filled the stat sheet as always. All right. And if he continues to not turn the ball over, man, the version of Copeland who does not turn the ball over is an all ACC point guard. He might even get near to being an all American. He's that level of a difference maker when he's not turning the ball over. So let's keep our fingers crossed that he continues to take care of the ball. Because if he does, man, we're dangerous. Let's talk about Paul. Paul was decent. He hit some threes. But the threes he hit, it was that elevation three that I don't like. I talked about that. We've changed his whole shot. It's more of a set shot now. But in these instances, he had to elevate and shoot over the player. And he hit it. Thank goodness. But I really don't want him to revert back to that because he's so inconsistent doing that. Um, My favorite Paul is when he scores on all three levels. All his points came from behind the arc last night. So if that's my one little complaint, it's like, I really like him when he's like ball faking and driving to the basket, getting a floater, mid range, something like that. When he adds all that to his game, he's pretty much unguardable with his height most of the time. So that's ideally the Paul that I want. But I'll take the one I got last night. Now, Trey, look, guys, I am not a huge fan of his game for our team. It's not overall. He's a hooper, right? He can hit open shots, hit open threes most of the time. He's come back from an injury, so I'm giving him a pass on that. Okay. But for our team, when we're clicking, he's not what we need. We need Abel. We need Arsenal. And I'm going to continue to say that. But we're winning. So, hey, if that's the way we're going to play, cool. But I do believe it's going to show that their minutes need to be more than his on this team. I would say on this team, if you're going to play small ball, which it seems like we're going to continue to do, so I've given up all hope of Wade playing two bigs because he just was reinforced that that small ball is going to work. So, hey, we're a small ball team, okay? We could be just a little bit bigger if we put TA back in the starting lineup. Now, you're probably thinking, Gary, whoa, pump your brakes. And I hear you. But just go back and look at his last four games. His numbers aren't huge, and it's not his fault. For the minutes he's playing, he's doing just fine. He's been very efficient. He's hitting the open three. And if you put him in, his defense is elite. He covers so much space. He rebounds well. He stays in front of his defender. He doesn't put us in rotation. He's constantly recovering and keeping someone from getting by him. I can't say that for Holloman. Sometimes I can't say that for Abel. I see him get beat a lot, but he does play the passing lane well. TA gives you it all. For those of you who know TA, Terrence Arsenault. Sorry, I've seen some comments about nicknames and everything like that. Terrence Arsenault is who I'm speaking about when I refer to TA. And I feel he really raises our floor whenever we have him playing a lot of minutes. Right now, I think he's figured it out. We had him starting. Hey, maybe it's fool's gold, but I think we need to put him back in the starting lineup. So look, I'm gonna move on. We play small, beat Clemson. Did we get out rebounded? Yes, but that's okay because it seems we're going to try to attempt to create more for ourselves through, steals, turnovers, just giving us a way to get more shots that way compared to rebounding. And I'm okay with that. If that's how we're gonna make this work, okay. I'll keep my mouth closed and just watch. Something interesting though is we did make them turn the ball over six more times than us. They still had one more field goal attempt than us. That's wild. Think about that. They gave the ball over six more times and still got up more shots. Hmm. You know what? I digress. I'll say it again. Small ball it is. So let's go ahead and address Pitt. All right. We're going to be on the road. That's our favorite. So I got a lot of confidence we will get this W. I'm not sure what in the hell is happening at home. But man, we got to figure it out. But since we're on the road, we're good this next game. We should win this game if we're our typical road selves. Seem to be focused. Oh, one last thing. If any of you have friends who are fans of the light blue team, they're going through it right now. Okay. They've been spoiled and they are not built to go through what they're going through, any type of struggle like a Pack fan is. So they're crumbling. I want you to check on them. All right. Do not confuse check on them with don't talk junk. Because that's not what I'm saying at all. Still talk junk, but check on them. But anyway, as always, Pack Nation, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, and our next road win, go Pack.